Hey guys, I'm really excited to show you the floor plan that we've been working on. Now, instead of being in a sketch form, it's in hardline. So, part of this process, as I put things into hardline and start really looking at dimensions and real sizes rather than very rough, sketchy pencil lines, is that sometimes changes come up. And I've got a couple changes that I think are going to make a dramatic impact to especially your master bathroom and master suite. So not going to spend too much time on the site plans because we're really not doing anything major to the upper level. It's here's the existing condition on the left, the new condition on the right. Not much happening here. On the second plan, A11, the lower site plan, you get a glimpse of the pool. Again, since this is something that we are future proofing for later, I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but we'll zoom in on the next plans and look at the floor plans. So let's go back up to the main level. So what we see here on the left is the existing floor plan, and elements that are dashed are to be removed. So we can see, for example, that there's a lot of existing walls here in these two bedrooms that are to remain, but we're demoing out the bathroom. We're demoing out the fireplace and the cabinets here, these walls. And you can even start to see little bits of ghosts of what the future work's going to be. So this is going to help you really understand, for example, how your new kitchen's laying out. For example, we can see that the new cooktop is pretty much where the old cooktop was, but here's where the new refrigerator column is going to go. The sink is moving from this two sink thing in the corner. It's now going to be centered on the wall. Here's the old refrigerator. So hopefully this helps you orient yourself within your space. Here, for example, you can see your old master closet is being replaced by the wall for the bathroom and how much narrower your master bedroom is going to get. But more on that as we look at the new design. So I think this is amazing. I think that we've got a really special plan here. So like we had in the sketch, you still come in through the same main entry. Your living space and dining space now have a vaulted ceiling, and it's very faint because this is the floor plan. We'll focus on the ceiling plan in later phases, but you can see that there's a line of a new ridge of the truss vaulted roof happening right along this midline. This represents the line right between that wall and that wall. So that's perfectly in the middle. I say maybe we carry that ridge with a post right here that integrates into a split level island. Um, and Yeah, just like we talked about before, the dining table is going to back up right against this new guardrail that then has just a big open fixed glass right here next to this new stainless steel, or not stainless steel, but a steel stringer guardrail, steel stringer stair going down to the lower level. Um, Still having the doors here, but we can certainly close this off just with a fixed piece of window if there's a feng shui concern. But we've got the door over here as well, and the stairs oriented just like we talked about. So I think this is probably just a carryover for me wanting to be more symmetrical. That door again could be a window. But we've seen the kitchen design should look familiar based on the sketches. The range of the cooktop right here, centered on this expanse of lower cabinets. I've opted to go for a U-shaped cabinet rather than just the L. I think getting this little extra 4 foot of cabinet length right here will be really nice. These dimensions are off. I'll give you a different version with these dimensions corrected. That should be the same 2 foot 11 inches. This should be 3 feet, not 144 feet. So forgive me. Um, but we've got the cooktop, the sink, a pull-out trash can right here, the standard dishwasher right here on this side, and this faces out of a fixed window flanked by two casement windows. So this is a big piece of glass facing out. We've got this existing window that faces into this little alcove area. I'm not sure if you really want to close this alcove area off. It's added expense. I don't know how much benefit it'll get you, but we could incorporate that. But if we're keeping this window, I would suggest adding another window just at the same spot. So here in the kitchen, you can get a view of people coming up to your front door. And it just gives this end of the kitchen just a phenomenal um, arrangement of windows and glazing. I think it's going to be very, very special. The full height cabinets start here that will conceal the cabinet faced refrigerator as well as perhaps a microwave or an oven column. This could also just be full height pantry reach in. You do have the walk-in pantry right here, so I'm curious to hear what thoughts you might have on how this space could be used here. But this length right here, this is what would be proposed to be clad in the cabinet material. Maybe not that triangle shape, but this length. So 10.5 feet of length here, including the door leading into the garage, and then about 8 feet concealing the door for the coat closet and the pantry. That would be that high-end cabinet finish. So we want to make sure that we budget for that because it's certainly more expensive than drywall. But again, just what a phenomenal look. The island here, I'm showing something that's just a placeholder for now. We'll explore this more in 3 dimensions, what this could be. But I think it might be interesting, just given the size of the kitchen, to go with a 2-level island where you've got one lower surface, probably at the standard 36-inch height for you to work at in the kitchen, but then for your guests to cozy up to sort of a higher bar area with bar stools tucked underneath. Maybe this jumps up 6 or 12 inches to about 42 inches, 3.5 feet tall or 4 foot tall. That might be nice and just provide a little bit of a screen looking into the kitchen. But let's explore that in 3D before making any final decisions. The pantry's huge. You know, we've got a huge walk-in pantry, a nice sized coat closet right off of the garage. And again, with these being clad in that cabinetry, I have no concern about the number of doors we're seeing here. It's just going to look like really just an arrangement, an array of these sort of full height panels. I think it'll look really, really handsome. We'll turn the corner and start heading into your master suite. So the door to your master suite is pushed back. So there's a little bit of relief here at this area, which I think is nice. It's a little alcove, a little vestibule before you get to your door. And there's an array of windows, 1, 2, 3, 4, equally spaced. I think this is going to look very, very handsome, both in bringing light into this vestibule and, of course, bringing light into your hallway, walking past this beautiful existing oak tree, looking down at your new backyard pool, or, of course, out to your already existing patio space will be really nice. You'll walk past the walk-in closet, and I provided some dimensions here, 4'7" length of closet rod, 5'8", 6 foot here. So plenty of walk-in closet for her. There's some for him. I'll leave it to you guys how you want to divvy this up. But I think that with the coat closet here, we can tweak the size of this. It doesn't have to be this deep. It doesn't have to be that wide. But I feel like it's an equitable split of space, and it takes care of a dead corner that you'll have here and here for the closets, but it's a little flexible. So let's talk about how you guys might want to use the walk-in closet and make sure that we're being equitable there. So we come into the master bedroom, and I've made a few tweaks here to the master bedroom and the master bathroom. I have the other design that we worked on. I hardlined that as well. And looking at it hardline, there are a couple issues with it. I think we should go with what I'm showing here instead, but let's talk in more detail later. But what we've got now is a seating area. You come into a seating area against the glass, the full height glass, that will swap out these 2 windows for full height glass. It would be amazing, again, connecting to the oak. I know we were talking about having the bed on this wall. It just feels too tight. I think rotating the bed this way just feels so much more natural, gets you looking out to your backyard. I think this is amazing. The big switch that happened to allow this was I basically took the master bathroom and I flipped it. You know, instead of having the toilet over here and the tub shower over here, now we're having the tub and shower against the exterior wall. The master vanity is really long, 7.5 feet long, with that little bit of extension into the wet room as a nice little convenient place to set a candle or votive or something nice right here to complement the tub area. And the toilet space is just a lot more spacious than it would than it would be if we were to try to cram it in here. Now, the one interesting thing about this is I know that you guys really wanted to keep this existing door. You wanted to utilize this door leading out into this existing covered patio space. And I think there's still merits to that. But I think as part of the toilet scheme, it wasn't really working. Here, it could be a frosted glass door that opens out into an enclosed little private garden area. Because I would imagine there might be some privacy concerns here for your neighbor, your neighbor to the right of you. seeing into the shower zone. But if this is a frosted glass door, I don't think there's going to be too much of a privacy concern. But if that's the case, let's take this existing patio that's already covered with a roof. Let's just take out these old railings, simple 2x4 railing, and let's go in with something a bit more robust from privacy standpoint, whether that be a slat wall from floor to ceiling or floor to roof, or something else, maybe a mix of some plants and planters that'll grow up and provide just a really beautiful green space to see at the end of this bathroom. So I know you guys were happy with the last bathroom. I think this one is 10 times better, to be modest. But we'll cover the other one too. In fact, let's just jump ahead to that one real quick. So here's what we were looking at before, where you come in, the toilet is crammed in 2'8". It is just the code minimum. Anything narrower than this is illegal. And I don't think this is going to be a comfortable space to be in to use the bathroom. And then to have to squeeze through this 2'8" hallway, that's not even code compliant. I mean, a hallway needs to be by code 36 inches. I can make some arguments that this should be allowed. I could argue this with the building department, but it almost feels like we're really forcing it. The vanity is smaller because we need the length for the bathroom in this way to make up for the narrowness. And it puts the shower and the tub area sort of in the dark zone, right? It's away from the window. It'd still be brightly lit. I think we're going to incorporate a skylight into this bathroom for sure too. But I really, really like the other design I have. So let's meet and talk live about this. And really also too, with the bathroom arranged this way, it forces the pocket door up the page, which wouldn't allow you the freedom or flexibility to rotate the bed and face the way I think you should be facing. So let's go back to that design up here. Again, I think this is just phenomenally better. You have the flexibility of rotating the bed again if you wanted. I think now we also have the flexibility of considering swapping out this existing high window for a full height or something that maybe comes down to like a 36-inch sill. I think I'd want to get another view of what you're looking out at this way to make sure before I make a final recommendation there. But it's an amazing master suite. And I don't mind the 10-foot dimension in this direction. I really minded it in the other direction. All right. Other changes upstairs. Yeah, let's talk about the change here. So I think that this bathroom could be swapped out for a standard 5-foot wide shower, toilet, and a small vanity. And this allows this sort of underutilized space to now become a new walk-in closet for this bed 3. That's not something that we had looked at before during the sketches. But if we demolish this wall and that shelving, you can see that the new wall for the sink and the toilet right here is pushed back so much more. You get a reasonable walk-in closet here instead of just a wall closet. Not necessary. We could, of course, keep that existing wall if costs are an issue, just have a bigger bathroom, but you wind up paying for more tile, bigger shower pan. I wonder if it'd be a wash. We should talk to a builder about that. But I think going for the new walk-in closet, the new non-load bearing wall, probably is the way to go. And that's something that came out just through this hardline exercise. All right, so let's take a look again. We're at the dining room. We can come along this way and start heading downstairs, right up against this glass, this full height, full wide, fixed glass. The only thing interrupting it is the floor structure of the deck, whether it's the existing deck to remain or a new deck. So that's one way to go down. The other way, of course, is to come out this door and come out along here and then come into the new spiral staircase. That's, I think, fine. I've put in some quote requests to see how much of a spiral staircase would cost. I don't think it's going to be too expensive, and it's certainly going to be far less bulky than the large sort of standard U-shaped stair that I was showing before. And based on your interest with your friend's house in Los Angeles, if you like the spiral stair, I think that's great. Do think about guests with mobility issues. Elderly folks or people with mobility issues might have a bit of a harder time with the very big fall or the very big rise. These are very steep stairs typically. It's flexible. We can adjust that, but that's something to consider. All right, let's head downstairs now. So downstairs, again, we've got the same sort of layout here where you can see the existing elements to be demolished are going to be dashed. Existing elements to remain are shown solid. And we're kind of ghosting in some of the new elements just to give you a sense for like, okay, so I see that Sean's proposing to put another bathroom sink in where this other bedroom's sort of mini closet was, right? So that's how the plans are laid out. But we come downstairs or downstairs to the spiral. So now this is really the collection zone for coming downstairs. Put a new door here, the same 12-foot wide full height glass right here that the stair, this steel stringer stair is sort of floating against. It's not touching it, it's floating against it. I think it's going to be phenomenally open, so much more open than it was before. Now the room's going to measure basically 20-foot square in each direction. It's going to be a really nice space. Showing an errant column there. That column shouldn't actually be there, so ignore that. But we're showing relocated fireplaces, like we talked about. I think, this wall, this media wall, I still think is the right way to face the TV. But we can study that a bit more in 3D before making the final say. But I really do feel pretty strongly that with the stair running behind you and the circulation running this way, it just makes sense for this to be the media wall rather than this. I feel like the whole space would be too narrow in this dimension where it's so open. There's so much flow. You can swap out this couch for even a pool table. We can study that live. I can show you that sort of furniture block moving around and how much space you have down here. I would propose to close off this existing TV thing. It seems like it's a bit fussy to try and fit the fireplace here and have that competing void here. And I don't think you're too in love with that cabinetry, right? So let's talk about that, but I'd say close that off. Maybe it becomes just a simple storage area, but that this becomes that really beautiful decorative wall that we will develop, of course. I'm not sure if you guys want to swap out the bar area or keep what's there for now to control the budget. I think it's a good spot for it. So we can definitely swap out for new if you want, or keep the existing for a while and swap it out later. That's a decision we can make together. The bathroom here is pretty straightforward. It's a simple little built-in vanity, toilet, and the shower space. But it fits nicely. It's screened from view. It's not, no one's going to be bothered watching a TV if someone opens the door to use the bathroom here. So I think it's working out pretty well. But now let's talk about heading outside. So we've got a door here or here, so it's a perfectly symmetrical back elevation. I love this elevation. I'm so excited about what this stair is going to look like. And I'll actually open up a model from another project to show something similar. But you walk out into this outdoor barbecue area. We've got a built-in grill, a medium green egg, incorporated trash can, and a hand sink, as well as an incorporated under-counter refrigerator. This cabinetry would back up right against the existing patio posts. And then we would integrate a belly-up sort of countertop area right up against that. So your builder would have to cut the counter to scribe it around the post, but that's not too big of a deal. But then this added height, this belly up bar area is just another thing to sort of screen any, plates of debris or raw meat sitting on the counter. That's screened from view from the pool area. We've got over 9 feet from the edge of that belly up bar to the edge of a very narrow lap pool. I think lap pools, you're not trying to do anything official or Olympic standards, so there's flexibility in how big this is. There are even things like motorized lap pools where there's a constant stream of water coming at you. You never have to worry about turning. So maybe let's talk a little bit more in depth about what your goals are for this lap pool. Because I know we still also want to incorporate a spa element. That's going to even more shorten the lap pool, and you'll wind up turning so many times. So let's talk a little bit more about this. But what I'm showing is a narrow single lap pool, and you can see that does protrude beyond that existing metal fence and the drop in grade. So it's not a big deal. It just means that to fit a pool and to maintain at least 4 feet of walking space between the existing house and the edge of the pool, you can go down to 3. I'd rather you keep it at 4, just for a little bit more elbow room and to allow more space for you and your guests to lay out adjacent to the pool. What that means is that it's going to go out beyond the existing grade. So some grade work, some small retaining wall will be necessary to accommodate this pool. But we can work with a pool engineer to really sort of figure out what that would take for your phase 3 project. But this then just, I think, has a great connection to the steps leading down to your existing covered patio, especially if we incorporate the spa and maybe some sort of like the jet, the swim stream jet in here, the motorized lap pool. I think this is going to be phenomenal because you've got your guests hanging out here by the fire pit. Um, you've got steps leading up to the hot tub area. There's a hand sink right here for convenience. Leads you right into the rec room. I think this is a phenomenal design. I can't wait to hear what you guys think about it. Um, but if you guys are happy with this, I think the next steps would be to get going with some structural engineering because that's going to carry most of the cost, I think, for the build out, or at least what the general contractors are going to say is unknown at this time. They can price out the amount of hardwood flooring we're showing, the stair, the drywall, the plumbing fixtures. That's not a problem. But they're going to want to know how are we accomplishing that vaulted ceiling? What's it going to take to knock down these walls? What kind of beam is going to need to be put up in the existing floor frame to make that happen? So, you know, the structural engineer is not going to care about the design of this wall. If you guys are more or less okay with the layout of the home as we're showing, let's move into structural engineering. And then let's also get some general contractors to start providing you with some prices for what is now a very clearly defined scope of work based on these plans. Again, I look forward to talking to you guys live after you've had a chance to digest this. I'm also going to send you these plans so you can review them at your leisure. But book a meeting with me so we can review this. My availability is always on that link in my signature, so you can always just see what suits your schedule, and I'll be available for that. Look forward to hearing your guys' thoughts. Adios.